Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to WCA Chinese qualifier number 3. Today we're going to conclude it. 3 days lay behind us. The group stage was interesting to say the least. Damn it. And also interesting is my co-caster here today because it's been a while, but yours is with me again. Should be with me, but maybe he's getting some breakfast. I can't move up. Okay, I think he has to pull me up, but then he will be with me, the vice champion. Of course, we have 3 humans here today, and who better to cast... Yeah, that's working now. Who better to cast human games with me than yours?
Yeah, absolutely. That would be the right question, and I'm kind of hyped about it. Against Colorful, that will be a great match, and also the Human Mirror afterwards. That will just be a lot of human action coming our way this morning.
You sound pretty refreshed, to say the least. You said you just woke up.
I always sound like that when I woke up. It doesn't really matter. Like, my voice is not super cracking or anything, but it's like I haven't been to shower yet, or I haven't had breakfast. It's just like I woke up like 20 minutes ago and try to get into the day and have a good start.
That's some dedication right here. So, we have Yumiko versus Colorful first. What do you think about the group stage yesterday? I mean, it was kind of a lot of confusion going on about the system and stuff.
I have to say, like, since these Chinese guys always have their own rules in mind, especially when it comes down to tournament environment. I remember PGL, like, back in the day, they had, like, a confusing 9 boards through the tournaments with, like, every single board showing, like, a different kind of style of a tournament grid. And it's like always these Chinese guys, they have, like, their own thing in mind when they try to set up a tournament. And yesterday it was also, like, a little special. Besides that, also Fly dropping out, huge upset, and in general, that group stage was already full of surprises, I felt.
Yeah, me too, especially the first day where basically everything went against our predictions. But yeah, it's pretty damn cool to see Yumiko back at the World Elite. He was struggling for quite some time and now he wins his group.
Yeah, but it also seems like that he puts a lot of practice into it. Like, I'm not sure if he's practicing ladder also much, but I know that his custom games, like the number of custom games that he played in the recent past, rise by a huge margin. So he's definitely putting some practice into it. Other players, like Fly, for example, I think every single time if you win like a big tournament and a tournament that you have been focused on winning, and especially like Fly, who won GCS as well as the WCA last year, or GCS this year even, I think at some point he will just like stop practicing for a while until he feels that he's eager again to win a tournament. And at this point, I feel like he got the amount of money that he will need probably for the rest of the year. So he's like kind of taking a step back. Maybe he knows that he will get one of these last-second invites that they can give out, and there's also still the NA qualifier that might be a possible solution.
Yeah, I spoke to Cody today, our Chinese little helper, and he said according to his information it's only gonna be 8 players. But against that on replays.net it still says 10 players. So I don't really know what's going on with the North American qualifier. There's an announcement for CSGO and for Hearthstone, but dead silence for Warcraft 3.
That could be some crazy stuff coming our way. On the other hand, like, as much as I like Cody, I know that he's also like sometimes like not the most reliable source. Or just like sometimes just throwing stuff out of the window.
Yeah, maybe.
And I remember sitting next to him in the hotel room eating some stuff, and he's dropping like the most random line I've heard in my life. But despite that fact, he's like pretty awesome. Yeah. And I like him a lot.
To that, sometimes his mouth might be a little quicker than his head.
Yeah.
I think that's a good way to point it out. Yumiko's opponent today, Colorful. His best performance so far in a big tournament? What do you think of his game so far?
He's pretty promising. I also played like a few days ago when I played Netties. I played 2 games against him. I lost 1, I won 1. So his performance overall is like pretty decent against me, what I felt like playing against him. But on the other hand, like in this tournament environment, he did pretty good for himself, and I really like that like new players stepping up their game. I think we don't really have too many of these guys stepping up the game in Europe anymore. Since Foggy had his breakout, I don't think there's like anyone else. Maybe Awkward is stepping up his game slightly, but not a new name coming to the scene here, for us at least. And yeah, in China, there's like more and more people coming out. There's still the like, I think after setting up the NetEase environment for them in China, a lot of people started practicing again, and this also brings a few new faces to the scene.
Yeah, it's very cool and very refreshing. We saw Zhao KK as well, promising orc. We just need more undeads, I feel. So according to chat, Yumiko was practicing with Loliot, and Yumiko said if he loses today, he's going to retire.
Yeah, we all know that he's a super emotional guy. I remember him crying like multiple times already after losing a few games. So it could really be the case that he drops his Warcraft 3 career and is pursuing something else, maybe going to be a coach, maybe going for like a normal job or whatever. At some point, you really have to make a decision: do you quit on gaming or do you keep it up? And yeah, as it seems, he's also not a big streamer in China, right? He's not like streaming his scheduled plays and stuff like that. So there's not really a good background kind of information for him or background kind of like plan to support anything else than a pro career at this point.
Yeah, I don't really know how his streaming goes. I know back at GCS when he tuned in the stream at like 3 a.m. in the morning, he instantly had more than 4,000 viewers, I think. So can't be that bad for him, at least in June. But Yumiko is different from TH and Infi, of course. When there's a big tournament, those two are always invited. Yumiko, not really the case. So that might have led to his decision as well. For example, he's not invited for the UN Cup, but only for the Panda TV Invitational, which is kind of like a Tier 2 tournament. So maybe that frustrates him a little as well. But of course, that's just speculation on our part.
Yeah, he has always been the kind of like third wheel or like the third
Yeah.
guy coming to the party and a little late. Since like Infi and TH, they will always be set on top of him. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, we're two human players to invite. He's definitely not on that list. And Yumiko, even if he wins like a WCA title at some point of his career, people would still doubt it, and it will still be like, yeah, we got Infi and TH. Like this Yumiko guy, he might have won like this and that, but that's not really all that crazy.
Yeah, I think to this day, NISO and NWL are his big accomplishments, but
Yeah.
not a Tier 1 tournament for sure, like WCA, WCG, whatever. So we have the maps. It's Amazonia, Echo Isles, and Last Refuge. And I think that's exactly the three maps that we saw in the Panda TV Invitational, where Yumiko and Colorful met. There it was a 2-1 for Yumiko. What do you think about the maps? Pretty standard, right?
Pretty standard, yeah. Not really something that we should focus all too much about. Like this is the kind of map set that we see in most of the human against Niders these days, I feel. Same videos coming out of both of the players. Some maps can backfire, but as we all know like kind of Yumiko's playstyle, and this is heavily relying on an expansion, just like every other Chinese human player. But yeah, we have like the one guy Infi who is like almost a beast recovering from setbacks in the early game, and then we have TH who is just creating like crazy early games with double wreck sometimes, and then we have Yumiko who is like taking a different approach every now and then, and who is also sometimes struggling in the early game department. But yeah, I think his chances of winning romantic, and that I also know that he's not really willing, or not romantic, the colorful. That he's not really willing to play against Colorful because I think they are friends in some ways. So
Okay.
they try to not collide too early.
Well, that didn't really work for them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Yumiko until yesterday, clean sheet, 2-0 versus TH, 2-0 versus Xiao KK. But yesterday they lost against WFZ, but there was, of course, only a few clowny games. Yumiko was already through, WFZ was already out, so they just played for the lulz. On the other side, Colorful with a big upset in my opinion, with a 2-0 over Live, lost then to Romantic 1-2 and also to Fly, with that weird point system. With two losses and one win, he's still qualified for the semi-final. On the Chinese stream, the game has started, and we are waiting for NetEase TV to provide us with Amazonia. And there it is already. It's not in the featured list, but in the watch list below. I wonder why. But alright, first game of the day about to start.
For me, it's not there yet, so you go ahead.
Yeah, maybe if you search for Amazonia, you'll find it a little quicker. There we go, and I got the colors wrong. Damn it. So, okay, there's nothing big going on in the early game, so I think we have some time to correct this. So who's your favorite here today? Who do you think will win this?
Absolutely Yumiko in this case. I like Colorful for what he's trying to do and how he's playing these days, but of course I'm going to stick to my human buddy, Yumiko.
So just for this best of 3 or for the entire day?
I think for the entire day. Like I also can see him win against TH. So I think TH will make it out of the romantic TH engagement, even though that I'm the biggest romantic fanboy ever on this planet. But yeah, I see Yumiko taking the whole thing if he's lucky today.
All right, then let's see what happens here on Amazonia. We see a Demon Hunter. No Hunter's Hole just yet, obviously, but maybe a follow-up later. This is going to be an expansion play by Yumiko for sure. We see an Archmage and... yeah, is it going to be Immolation or not? That is the big question in the early game here at AZ.
Yeah, that is definitely a good question. Also, if we are going to see multiple detonates on that expansion set when he creeps that one on the water elementals, we can already see a fairly early Hunter's Hall in the game, so it will probably be the kind of style that Live played last year during the GCS, or this year even, where he went for like a few Huntresses in the early game and with the Immolation to harass a lot. Also, Moon's trying to pull that one off with like setting up 2 battlefields at the same time while like stepping to the main base with Immolation, and on the other hand going into the expansion with a few Huntresses. Not being super successful since Infi, for example, can trade really efficiently and also knows how to handle that with the Wisp and the Archer going towards the mercenary camp. I'm not sure why they're always taking the top mercenary camp. It would be way better to take the bottom one to have that priest a little earlier on the field. Yumiko doing something odd here that no human player usually does. He goes for that green camp with the poison guy, like the person Murloc here, close to his main base. That's something that you usually skip out on, because you just want to spare the mana on another water elemental. And speaking of that, he gets mana burned in this second. The priest is not coming yet. He chills there a little bit with the archer. We have like 2 wisp closely positioned to that expansion set, so he definitely got 2 detonates if he wants to do that. 3 moonwells, no tech, and he's probably heavily relying on early game pressure here.
Yeah, it is level 2.5 for the Archmage already, but only mana for 1 Water Elemental, and that could really hurt him. Here comes the Dispel, and with another mana burn, there is no Water Elemental for the expansion creep here for Yumiko. This is already bad start, and he's tacking.
Yeah, he's taking, he's getting a tower, probably expecting his opponent to do some shenanigans. We have level 2 already on the Demon Hunter, not using his second skill point yet. Not aware of what's going to happen here, and I like that Yumiko is dictating the pace of the first game of that best of 3. That's something that you always should keep in mind if you are the kind of guy like dictating the strat for your opponent, or if you are just following blindly. And as it seems, he wants to be the dictator of the pace. And we also see a few more mercenaries coming for our Chinese friend here, Mr. Colorful. Nope, he just pulled the creeps without sending the wisp in for whatever reason.
Yeah, there was a little mistake from him, I guess. Everything got attacked, and somehow he fucked it up. So no 2 Shadow Priests for him. Big shop creep for Yumi, and this is gonna be level 3 for him. Boots of Speed already, and Wand of Illusion, which is of course amazing for scouting. Lots of militia being called. We see no lumber mill here, so rifleman or tower pushes, I think the question, but also no blacksmith. So this is a little weird.
Yeah, that looks really suspicious. There could definitely come a lot of aggression like in the early game. He gets more and more footmen. He even gets like up to 7 footmen and probably a Naga as a second hero, and then he wants to be aggressive. He gets mana burn yet again, but he gets a level 2 water elemental out. There's still 2 illusions that he can use. The first illusion got used to scout on the natural expansion. We saw that the Native player fairly delayed his tech here by a lot, to be honest. I just checked both of these main bases, and yeah, he's like quite behind. If the Naga will be out on the field, that will be a very good choice of Yumiko here, and I can really see that he does a lot of damage. The Archmage on the other side checks on the Demon Hunter going to the shop, who is probably going to pick up the boots. There you go. And now we will probably see that second hero aggression coming out of the human.
This is the Naga, as you mentioned before. Could this be the reprisal strat without breakers, but casters and a lot of kiting?
Nah, you usually need that blacksmith for the workshop, and what you also need is like a lumber mill probably, or a shredder, but he's getting neither of these things. Probably he's going for double Ancient of War, but the Naga is the target of choice. He kills the archer, Naga retreats, both of speed on her is enough to get away. The Demon Hunter is not level 3 yet, so it's not super scary. for the Naga. There will be another level 2 Water Elemental. There you go. And yeah, Huntresses are still pretty decent against Footmen. But on the other hand, he's kind of playing like Undead, I feel, at this point, with like having the Naga on the field and trying to surround with the ghouls at this early stage of tier 2. He even gets more Footmen. This could also be something like, I don't even want to call it to jinx it, but I've seen this tower push from a German human player once in a while. He used like a lot of Footmen with Defend and one Rex Priest, and then he tower rushed afterwards. It's a strategy that is like, some people think like, why is this working? But yeah, if it catches you off guard, it can definitely work.
Okay, I haven't seen in quite a while. I think since the Sky days, I haven't seen a tower rush against Night Elf.
Yeah, but no Lumbermill, so
Yeah.
ours would be really odd. We see a few sorcerers coming and more Footmen. He's like, I don't know, like these days people are stepping it up. Some people might call it the Liking strat without a Mountain King. We have a tier 3 coming right away from Mr. Colorful, and he goes into double log production without a second hero yet. He's probably going to pick up his own Naga at the middle. Yep, there you go. And he wants to be aggressive, but to be honest, you will just have a few Huntresses for quite some time, and if you get like 1 or 2 Sorcerers out in a Priest, you might be in a very good spot. He's also probably waiting for a healing scroll here. Yeah, there you go. And now the push should be on, and we're going to see a lot of Militia coming the way of the Night Elf. And as crazy as that seems, that can definitely work.
Wow, it's really one Sanctum, no Lumber Mill, but it's still a big army. How much is it? 50 food against 36, and he hits a decent timing because the lores are not up. Dryads are gonna take some time, especially with the Dispel upgrade. The Naga is low though, that could be a potential problem for him, but of course he has to micro against that. Colorful is definitely losing that Moonwell, and it's not too many Dryads that can come out there. Engine of War is in place though, Demon Hunter sees all of this, no immolation, he skilled evasion before. And yeah, just going for the Moonwells, keeping the Night Elf supply stack. Here comes the towers, Zeppelin from Colorful to help a bit here. Mana Burn on the Sorcerers, but immediately slow on the Demon Hunter. No Dispel of course at the moment, except with Wisps, and he doesn't really want to lose them. Illusions on the Huntress, and so far the masses of Footmen seems to be doing the job for Yumiko.
This game is so over. Look at the sheer amount of units. But on the other hand, Colorful doing a great job denying the Zeppelin of his opponent. And Yumiko had to get the Zeppelin at his own base, flying over right now to save the Naga and 1 Footman. The Water Element is doing an amazing job against the Huntresses. And yeah, Colorful completely caught off guard, not staying on tier 2 for any longer, not getting any units, not getting any kind of infrastructure that keeps him in the game. You can also see that he repairs the Zeppelin with 7 workers, so that Zeppelin is not going to die. And we have the first quick GG of the day.
Wow.
Almost 9 minutes. There you go. Yumiko's practice against Lulite seems to pay off.
Surround on the Naga killed her, Surround on the Demon Hunter killed him, and that is an 8-minute 1-0 for Yumiko. Usually when the game on Amazonia goes that fast, it's the Demon Hunter with Immolation wrecking the expansion, but yeah, he caught him completely off guard. No idea about this strategy, and it's very unusual that Chinese don't go for the expansion, and what a success for Yumi.
Yeah, Yumi is definitely one of the guys that likes to practice these like unique kind of strats. Like I remember Echo Isles double Rex against Human last year already by him, WCA. That didn't work all that well, but you can really see how he puts some thought into it, and also how he thinks about the game, and that he likes to create like some new ways of winning like sets or just the first map of the set. And then at some point he just transitions into his normal kind of expansion play again, and you have to question yourself, what the hell is happening here?
So I'm interested in Colorful's reaction. Next map is gonna be Echo Isles, so I think a Warden is not unlikely. I'm not so sure if he plays it frequently or not.
Yeah, me neither. I'm not really comfortable with like too many call-outs here on Colorful because I don't really know his playstyle all that well. And I think that he also likes to change it up for like a few maps, but in general I would think like it's really hard to call what he's going to play on the next map.
Yeah, I saw like 10 games of his now, but everything is so blurry these days with all the tournaments going on and everything, you know, mixes up together.
I'm gonna grab some water real quick. I will be right back.
Alright. Foggy said yesterday that Colorful seemed nervous to him in the last game of the group stage, which was the most important one because he needed 1 map against Fly. And of course, this is the biggest series of his career. This is way more important than everything he has done before. And yeah, maybe he is a little shaky, but What can you do? If you're in a Huntress Hall and you see Mass Footman, maybe you can go into a second engine of war, but his tech was already delayed, so I don't think you can delay it even further. Yeah, Colorful is playing very standard most of the time, but I'm pretty sure I saw a Warden of his. And the game started. So Yumiko one step away from the grand final. And I think the big question of this tournament is, usually, on paper, it is TH versus Yumiko here. That's for sure. The game is up in on the Chinese stream. We have 3 new subscriptions. Thank you Altnach, thank you The Lescent, thank you Cake Pie Biscuit, and thank you Dumkop 31. So it's actually 4 subs. I hope I'm pretty flattered that you all use your Amazon or Twitch Prime thingy to subscribe to us. That's really, really cool. Just not forget to renew your sub next month. It's really amazing, this development here. You guys stream again? Oh my fucking god, you never stop. Nope, not this week, no. Maybe I will skip Jera Cup on Sunday because I have to go to a concert in the evening. But maybe Remo is gonna fill me in, so we're gonna see about that if we stream Jera Cup. Apart from that, every day is Warcraft. Tuamata, thank you very much for the sub again. The sub train is riding high again. Oh no, it's actually not a Twitch alert. It's a real subscription. Thank you very much.
Dude, that Twitch Prime thing is such a blessing for
Yeah,
Twitch
man.
in general. It's probably one of the greatest ideas they have ever had concerning that. Especially, I'm not sure if you have seen it yet. Have you checked out on that your loyalty kind of system coming into play
Yeah,
soon?
that's really cool. We're already
Yeah,
working
because yesterday I
on
was
devices.
asking my guys, like, what do you want to have for that? What kind of like ideas do you have? And then it came to mind that you would probably change it up and not only bring a Tomb of Experience, but maybe like starting with a Tomb of Intelligence and then turning it into this Tomb of Strengths and something like that.
Yeah, that is kind of my idea as well.
Ah, cool. Because I wanted to share it with you. That sounds like an amazing plan.
Two great minds thinking alike once again.
Yeah, that's like there are so many tombs in the game, and that works. Like different colors and stuff. That's good.
All right, next game is Equals. We see it here on stream. We're in, and it is a Warden play by Colorful. Is he able to play her like a Lalite? We heard it before. Yumiko was practicing a lot with Lalite, maybe even practicing for that one big play because no one plays it better than the Korean. He decides to go for Shadow Strike first, which is, I think, the logical decision here, and then later switch it up with Pen of Knives and Blink, the thing that you love so much.
Dude, it's so sad.
Whoa.
Like, there's a panda coming as a
Yeah,
first
man.
hero. This is taking like a page of the book of Romantic, I feel, because I remember a game with the panda first, and he also stole the priest on the other side. But that panda turned to level 7 with like 20 tanks streaming into Knight of Main Base.
Yep.
That was.
Yeah, that should be the tactic here, right? Fast expansion tanks, because what can you do if the Night Elf goes like mass giants against the Panda? Well, you can go for mortar teams, okay, so it's not that big of a deal.
Looking from it from another perspective is like it seems like human players get kind of frustrated and they know they cannot win a straight up game against the Warden, and they maybe would need to do some shenanigans if you want to be mean. But on the other hand, it feels like Yumiko, who's like really comfortable playing these out of the box kind of sets or strategies against his opponents, is taking yet another stretch to his opponent, and it will catch him quite off guard if he hasn't practiced against it. And where can you really practice against something like that?
Right. Yeah, we don't know the constellation of the Chinese players that much, but I think a lot of people are on good terms with Yumiko, so I think for Colorful, finding human practice partners is not that easy. Of course, TH and Infi will not practice with him that much, I feel. Romantic.
Yeah, they only practice with you if you kill them in ladder,
Yeah.
which is a really smart approach, to be honest. And this is also the downfall of 1-2-0, but we can talk about it another time.
Okay. Panda gets level 3, the Warden not able to steal any big things here. Shadow Melt again, there's no dust.
Nice. Look at this, how he like slowly pokes there, checks where the warden's around, gets
Yeah.
closed, and now traps her in. Of course, there will be Blink to get her out. She's just buying some time while she's creeping. She's now going up to level 3 if she wants to be really mean. There's 2 priests set up that heals everything that's around, but if she's really mean, she turns into double fan of knives. She already got the boots of speed as well as the tele staff, so even if he buys the dust and he's just waiting right now at the mercenary at the goblin merchant to get the boots of speed for the panda as well, and he lets her go. There's absolutely no way that he can catch her with the teleportation staff coming into play. 2 skill points not spent yet, and the panda is going to breath of fire on everything, and we have level 2 Shadow Strike.
That's interesting. We don't see that too often, but of course the panda has more HP than an Archmage, for example, so level 2 Shadow Strike for the early game might be a good decision if you go for a Tome of Retraining later on, because Fan of Knives I think is gonna be mandatory here. Town Hall 2/3 done.
Dude, that panda, look at this. He's going completely crazy, but the warden on the other side is bypassing the army. The expansion is about to be done. The Arcane Tower is not done yet, though. We have 2 more Shadow Strikes in a second to be spent on these workers, and as the tower is not finished yet, we're gonna have a lot of aggression here at the expansion. But in general, he will only be able to kill 2 or 3 of these workers. He steals the priest from his opponent, which is a good idea. With double barracks set up yet again on this map. That is something that Yumiko really likes to do. And yeah, he's going on full try hard with these footmen and the 2 priests that he got with like huntresses coming. And the only thing that could probably counter this is like double Ancient of War huntresses to play it very safe, but he's not taking that kind of approach. Warden in the meantime, not only killing 2 or 3 workers, but completely annihilating that peasant line.
That was a lot more successful than I thought it would be. Big investment for Yumiko to replenish the peasant line now. With the panda and this army is going for the Tree of Life. What is there for Colorful to prevent this? Shadow Priest, 3 Shadow Priests on the side of Yumiko. There's only a Berserker fighting against this and the Huntress, but definitely not the mass that he needs. Here comes the Warden again with 2 Shadow Strikes with replenishment, I guess. But the Breath of Fire is burning this Tree of Life and he will collapse. Most likely, yeah, 2 more footmen. This one is definitely gonna go down. And also the second game looking very promising for Yumiko.
Yeah, early game for Yumiko will be great because you cannot repair against the panda. Level 2 Breath of Fire kills your Wisp like instantly. So if you pull like 4 Wisp and you try to repair that one, there's absolutely no chance of success. Shadow Strike is now going to finish that Berserker up. He tries to kill that one. No, he's not getting the deny. Level 4 on the Warden already. And this is the phase of the game where the Night Elf player will struggle for a bit. But as he's getting to tier 2 or even tier 3 at the moment and he's setting up a few lores, he will have Dryads on the field. And if there's a unit that is like saying hi to a panda without taking too much damage from it, it's definitely a Dryad with like that spell immunity coming into play. And sniping the mercenaries, also reducing the firepower on that side. Yumiko's still on tier 1, not going to take anytime soon.
Yeah, of course the double rags is a big investment as well as all the mercenaries. So it's only 1 Engine of Lore by Colorful and I think he can afford it. Like with the defend fighting against Dryads, they don't do too much damage. Panda now with another Shadow Strike down to 300 HP. Militia support is even coming out, so more units for Yumiko here. But the Panda, I think, is gonna be dead. There is no shop for him.
Regeneration though keeps him alive for now. Muddy the Mud Golem got zoned out and now he's forced into a town portal.
There is a shop for him, but he's still tier 1. The Warden should be able to snipe him, but he's not going for it. There's no mana for him as well.
Yeah, he will just try to get a few more pickups with his units here. Double Berserker is pretty good here. On the other side, the Warden with the boots of speed, killing a few more units. Muddy the Mud Golem slowing down one of these footmen yet again. Killing that one in a second, gets denied. And it feels like Yumiko is on the clock here. He will play a tier 1 all in, trying to get every single unit that he can possibly get. Breath of Fire is one of the Wisp at the mercenary camp. And yeah, he's going into like full footman production, probably going to pick up Scroll of Healing as well as an Invo Potion, and then he's going to like all in his opponent and try to like win it right now, right here, probably in the next 9-minute game, or his opponent is returning the favor.
So far we don't see Fan of Knives, but there's still 2 skill points unspent for the Warden, and then of course it's gonna be really, really hard with all the masses of footmen to fight this. On the other side, we don't see bears yet. It is double Engine of Lore now. Adept upgrade is coming. Tier 3 is almost finished, and I think once the Master upgrade is done and you get like 3, 4 bears, I think 3 is enough, then you can hold this, right?
Sometimes footmen can even outlast bears if you have enough, but we don't see a heal scroll yet. And yeah, as you said it, there's still 2 skill points that he can spend, and he's going to spend these very wisely, probably on Fan of Knife. There you go. And now he's forced into a Town Hall. That's of course great news for Yumiko. And yeah, Panda 3.5. Warden is trying to get up to level 5. 3.5, yeah, but Warden is trying to get to level 5. Only 4.5 though.
It looks very healthy here. All the footmen's in the green HP range. We have the first Giant now. No Abolish Magic just yet because, yeah, well, you don't really need it. I think Warden has one more Shadow Strike or one more Fan of Knives, of course. Wants to get rid of a lot of footmen here. Breath of Fire into the Mercenaries. First Bear is out. No read to for him, but I think Colorful is slowly but steady stabilizing. Yumiko's still on tier 1, still on double rags. No rifleman or anything. This is level 5 for the Warden now. And the next Fan of Knives hits double kill at least.
That solo hero experience now really taking a toll on his opponent. Yumiko slowly falling apart. It's different motivation to keep the Berserker alive. The other one got killed by the Panda. He was chasing that one. And yeah, Ring of Regeneration. What a great item to have. That Breath of Fire is not enough to kill the Berserker. And now he finds himself in a lot of trouble. Warden able to buy a Clarity Potion while he is chasing that Panda. There's still an Invul Potion as well as the Town Hall equipped on that hero. But there will be a Shadow Strike in a bit.
Just waiting for it. There it is. Shadow Strike is finished. He dodged this with an Invul Potion. Nicely done. But it's only 7 seconds and the Warden... it's not enough. Nope. No. Panda gets away. Has to heal up though and loses more and more time. Tier 2 tech finally. But it is so late. And that time can be used by Colorful to set up an expansion with the Giants and the Kiting and the first Bears. He should be pretty damn safe. How much supply do we have for Yumiko? It's only 46, I'd say. For double rags and mass mercs, that's not too much anymore.
No, there's not, like, I don't know, this was designed to kill him at this point. This strategy is not designed to last for any longer. He gets more and more footmen. Look at the amount of footmen that he got. That looks pretty healthy, but on the other side, do you really want to have this amount of footmen against the Warden level 5 on the field? Questionable choice.
Yeah, maybe an earlier rifleman transition, but who am I to judge this? Of course, that would also take some more time, and then even later, the tech. Warden with Invis Potion, and we all know what's coming. There's 2... Okay, there's 1 Fan of Knives. The rest of the mana will be burned. Blacksmith is coming, but I think it's a little too late already. Here she goes! Shadow Strike on top of things. First person down, second person down, third person down, and he might be able to get all 5 of them.
Wow, he's doing this really, really well. Usually you see a lot of native players, even if they have a level 5 Warden, they never go for that move because they're like, I don't know, either not having this idea or just not like aware of the fact that they can pull it off. On the other side, Yumiko is yet again trying to kill that expansion, and with these Breath of Fires, keep that in mind, he's not able to repair that. So if the Warden is not killing everything, which he is not, since he doesn't have enough mana, he's probably going to take that tree down.
That would be pretty nice. And yeah, the damage is enough. He's gonna lose footmen, yeah. But okay, feeding the Warden to level 6 is of course not what you really want. But killing the expansion for the second time, pretty big deal for Yumiko.
Yeah, the expansion might be falling, but on the other hand, Warden level 6, you mentioned it, so we have that Avatar of Vengeance already. The Peon line suffered a few losses at the expansion, sets up a few more towers so that it's a little bit more painful. If he tries to kill all of these workers here on this map, there is no Zeppelin, so you cannot plant the Zeppelin at both of your gold lines and load up your workers as soon as the Warden appears. Tier 2 is finished for the human player. He's probably going to head into the direction of Tier 3. I cannot really see him finishing the game on Tier 2, but as I said that, I see that there is a Sanctuary coming already, so probably for Breaker production or maybe just for the Magic Sentry upgrade. I'm not so sure about it yet. Maybe he wants to have like 1 or 2 priests to heal up this peasant line. This is something that I've seen from a few players. But yeah, native player positioning himself very aggressively at the expansion.
Yeah, why not, man? He has 3 bears. Panda killed the expansion for the 3rd time, by the way. But I don't know, with 3 bears, is it enough? There's a lot of towers now, and these will finish for sure. The Sanctum is going to go down, the Workshop maybe 2. Now it's 5 bears, and only the Panda to help against this. Where are all the footmen? Where's the rest of the army, or is this his army?
This is pretty much his army for now. That Breath of Fire only hitting 1 bear. I'm not sure in what kind of a direction he wanted to spend that one. And yeah, some people know the destroyer push killing a human player, but this is somewhat like comparable to a destroyer push. You can really see it. These bears with that war, they are just chopping stuff apart. In the meantime, 2 Dryades died to the towers already. The 2 Arcane Towers shooting at the Warden. She still got a mana potion, uses the last Fan of Night for now, and killing every single worker. There's no one to repair yet, and these bears are going to tear apart that expansion.
Siege bears, as we call them, for a reason. Is there mana? Nope. But there's a mana potion, level 7 on the Warden. Avatar of Vengeance has been used, and look at all the corpses. That's gonna be a treat for Colorful, and this tier 1 stuff didn't work out at all for Yumiko. Colorful equalizing here, and we will have a decision on Last Refuge, and I think on that map, everything is possible.
Dude, yeah, Last Refuge is pretty good for, in general, for us to see a great game coming our way. And on top of that, we have seen narrow positioning by human players that can really play a major role on this map. And on the other hand, Night Elf players with a nice early game and crazy shenanigans, and even these kind of like foggy positions where you can build like up on that choke on the laboratory, which we haven't really seen from too many Chinese players. But if you, for example, at the main base of the human player set up like 3 towers on the laboratory and then march them down, that is like usually unscouted and can cause a lot of trouble. Not sure if he's willing to go for such an all-in kind of strategy in the last game of that best of 3, but it would definitely be a kind of strat that you can see from him.
Looking up if they played Last Refuge in their encounter as well, and the Panda TV Invitational, yeah, they basically played the maps in the exact same order. Yumiko won on Amazonia in Panda TV, Colorful won on Echo Isles, and Last Refuge was Yumiko's to take again. So this could be an exact rematch of what happened 2 weeks ago in the Panda TV Cup. Whew, it's gonna be interesting, man. The game starts, and yeah, Warden or Demon Hunter. I think a Warden would definitely be a big surprise, but we have seen it. Were you aware of this laboratory bug that you can place a farm below the laboratory?
Yeah, but it only works on the one side.
Oh, that's pretty imbalanced.
It only works on the top side. I checked it yesterday while playing on the bottom side, and it didn't work. So yeah, I am completely aware of it, but it's crazy. Like in 2016, there are still some things in Warcraft that we haven't seen, that I haven't seen, and that's like crazy. It's surprising every single time. Like I saw Infi building that farm, and I was like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? And then the next moment I look at it, and he gets like a scan out of it. He gets like the Zeppelin, he gets like the Shredder, and I'm like, what, dude, what the fuck? How is this supposed to work?
But yeah, I don't know if this is bug abusing, if it's only working on the one side. I think there should be a rule against it, I feel. Like, it's a little unfair. But yeah, we have Yumiko spawning on the bottom left, so it doesn't make too much sense. Still waiting for Natty's TV. So, your favorite still Yumiko?
Yeah, absolutely. Like bringing these crazy strats out and just showing us the beauty of Warcraft by designing new strategies to beat your opponent. That's something that I cannot like put enough emphasis on, and I really want you guys to understand like how much of a thinking process and how much of practice is behind such a strategy if you play it in such a serious tournament with a guy like Yumiko who really tries to bring his best to that best of 3 and really wants to achieve something crazy. As we've heard it, he's probably retiring if he loses today and drops out. So there's a guy putting all of his Warcraft 3 career on these games that we are going to see from him today.
This could be Yumiko's last map ever then, if he's unlucky here today. Colorful, can he upset like ZDR did in qualifier number 1, like Romantic did in qualifier 2? He is definitely the smallest name here in this qualifier, but he could force a major upset. Last map of the semifinal. Who's gonna go into the best of 5 against Romantic or TH? On the upper right, Colorful, up-and-coming Night Elf from China, and Yumiko, of course. He has been around forever. Mouse Sports player. He was brought in together with Fly, and everybody said, who's this guy? He's losing basically everything. But of course, back then we had pings of around 250 for the Chinese players, and he got better and better and better. So much heart, so much soul, so much passion for this game. A very, very cool dude. It's not that easy because his English is not that bad, and of course our Chinese is even worse, but if you're around him, you just feel this friendly aura, and this positive aura around him. It would be a shame to miss him in the scene.
Yeah, he's definitely a nice guy, that's for sure. But yeah, back then I remember that everybody that got seeded against Yumiko was always happy. It's like, yeah, I got the free win, there you go. And yeah, he really sucked back then. He was like awful at Warcraft, but there was this one guy called Fly that already knew that there is some potential and that Yumiko got the talent to be one of these guys. And you can even see that even the native player here, Colorful, constructing the Hunter's Hall in that manner that he can access the laboratory right now. And the Temple of the Boom is revealed.
The Temple of Boom, I like that. It is a Warden, no Demon Hunter. Usually I think when there's a big game and a lot is at stake, Night Elves tend to go for Demon Hunter because it's a little safer than a Warden. Because, yeah, I think on Last Refuge, it's not Tyrannos, it's not Echo Owls, where level 3 is basically guaranteed. But Colorful taking some risks here, and I like that.
Yeah, Colorful definitely playing something else here that's pretty good. We have the early Huntresses coming his way. We have Shadow Strike as the first skill, nothing surprising. Archmage, on the other hand, finds himself without creeping the expansion. Maybe he's not going for that Expo overall, but as he gets more workers, that's usually indicating that you are going for an expansion if you're not going for something crazy. He's not creeping up to level 2, he's basically waiting to gather a few more resources at this point, and he almost got enough to set up that Expo, but not showing us a strategy yet. That Wisp is going to be sniped, the Scout Wisp on top of that laboratory on his side.
Yeah, but his movement, I think, indicates that he's not going for the expansion. Going towards the upper left now, getting the boots most likely. Oh, it's not 7 PM yet, so only dust for him. Warden always keeping tabs, I like that. There's wisps everywhere, and they scout it now. The militia train is coming, so he's... Okay, he wraps around with the Archmage and gets the expansion. Nice little mind tricks here, I think, from Yumiko. But so far it's not really working.
That was also scary for a second. Of course, the militia separating them from the rest of the army, especially the Archmage. He could have Shadow Strike the Archmage a couple of times. Seems like he wants to keep his mana together for now. Both of these trappers are going to die. Reveals the level 2 for the human player already. Archmage is the target of choice. So he spent Shadow Strike. That is on cooldown. He cannot get the Ogre Magi, and all the experience goes to the human player. Now surrounds the Warden. This is the reason why he got the Dust of Appearance in the first place, to reveal that Warden. And yeah, Colorful already falling apart here in the early game. Archer dying. Town Portal gone. Beautifully done by Yumiko though.
Perfect execution, I think, defending this harass. But yeah, the Shadow Strike a little premature, I think. Waiting for the Ogre Magi should definitely be worth it, but he felt the need to use it on the Archmage. A little hectic, maybe, as well. And now the Warden is... Oh, Shadow Strike at the shop. There's boots for the Archmage, though. Can he get away? The slow of the Shadow Strike is pretty damn strong. And there's a lot more Shadow Strike where that one came from. Here's the second one. Only the TP to save him, but without a shop, what can you do?
Yeah, that's awful for the human player. No way to heal up right now. The Boots of Speed is the only tool that keeps him alive in this encounter against the Warden. Staff of Teleportation being bought on the Warden, denying that Boots of Speed with the Archmage, of course, is the lifesaver for him at this point. Ultra Vision coming with 2 Huntresses on the field. The third Huntress is coming as well. Archmage is trying to reposition himself to a position where the Warden is basically far, far away from him. Warden is level 2 right now, going havoc on that peasant line. We have the Huntresses now coming in, and here, Footmen are far away, going to the other side, probably looking for a counter expansion. And there are a few workers falling in that gold mine, as well as the Archmage being a little in trouble if he's not careful enough. Warden is positioning himself a little bit more greedy than the Huntresses, because he knows if the Huntress gets surrounded, they die. If the Warden gets surrounded, she can easily jump out. Archmage chilling.
No, she can't jump out. Okay, with the staff, of course, sorry.
Yeah, with the staff.
Yeah. Because there was a very early commitment to Fan of Knives here to deal even more damage. So if there's a surround coming, it's only the staff. So if there's a Mountain King with Bash or Stonebolt or whatever, she'll be trapped. Archmage lost the Town Portal, as we mentioned, waiting at the shop for, I don't know, boots?
Yeah, Staff of Teleportation, probably.
Yeah, but that's off cooldown because the Warden got it. And now Colorful comes in with the Huntress for the real big pressure. And at the moment, there's not too much Yumiko can do against this. He spawns another no mana for a Water Elemental. So only Footmen and more Militia here. Colorful is really getting back into this game with his harass.
Doing a great job at the expansion, but in the meantime he needs to be careful. He just lost his shop. There's an Ancient Floor being constructed that could be sniped. And yeah, he has all the forces in the main base of his opponent. Now the Warden is staffing out. The Huntresses still took a battle against a few of these militias, and he killed a couple of workers in the gold line, going from level 2 to level 2.5, denying both Ancient of Lore 1k gold to spend, not a second hero to be seen yet. Another Ancient of Lore being constructed. We have that Footman being parked close to the laboratory of the Night of player, probably just waiting to get that Zeppelin going for him. Ancient of Lore in the shop in the main base as well, second Ancient of Lore that is. And yeah, no second hero yet for the Night of. He could probably go for a Panda at this point, but maybe he wants to play it Solo Warden all along, but he just lacks a little bit of like units. Usually the Dryads would already be on the field, I feel.
Yeah, the distraction from Yumiko worked pretty well, but still the Ancient of Lore quite far away. Colorful now, stealing the Zeppelin, and oh boy, the Shredder
is going to pay the price.
Oh, he can move out now, but he's not taking care.
Now I realized.
Ooh, that was really, really close. And once again, he's going for the Ancient of Wonders, so no shop still for Colorful. That means, of course, no staff. And no moon.
Look at the tech of the UN player already. Yumiko is like more than halfway through. And this means a lot of trouble for the Night of. Not setting up a counter expansion yet, not going to a tier 3, busy to keep his stuff together for so long, but it feels like Yumiko having a great game here, despite the fact of losing his Town Portal early in the game. Now he also got a Zeppelin, and now the human player really starts to shine and gets everything that he wants to have at this point.
I'm really impressed by Yumiko. He's basically playing this without an Archmage for most of the game because he was so hurt. Still no shop to get him up to the green HP range. So he spawns Water Elementals and sent them there, but he stays so far away from the wall, and that's of course a big drop in damage usually. Colorful now with the expansion, most likely. Yep, there's a Wisp coming. It's a very late expansion, and with the great scouting that Yumiko is pulling out here, this will be very, very hard to get up.
Yeah, the mid game will definitely determine the winner of that encounter. We will see the Warden now going crazy. We have an Ancient of Wind coming against the Zeppelin. We have two Zeppelins now scouting each other. A few Wisp being killed, so he's reducing the amount of Wisp, and the expansion is not even started yet by the Night of player. He needs to play this very carefully, very cautious, and you can see it now with the Zeppelin on the field for Yumiko. There's not too much to be done by Colorful. He's basically waiting for that first Hippogriff to come out. He didn't even start it yet. And yeah, only Dryads, Huntresses, maybe that one Hippogriff. And the human player already transitioning all out on producing on tier 2. You can see it in the main base. Everything is being constructed at the expansion. Another Sanctuary coming. That Shredder from earlier is really shining here.
That was so important that he didn't lose it against the creeps.
Starts the expansion now. We do not. Now we see the first Hippogriff coming, about to be done. That Zeppelin is just flying away, followed by another Zeppelin, showing us places of the map that we have never seen. That little kind of like village with the nice ship there. So we have a fisherman living on an island. Beautiful.
That's gonna be so boring, man. Eating fish all day. Not an exciting life, but okay.
He also lost his head already. Like, I think his life is already over.
Oh yeah, that might be true. A big fish, white shark or whatever. So, creeping for the Warden is of course the most important thing for Colorful now, as well as getting bears. He finds an excellent item, Row of the Magi, +6, almost another fan of knives. We have a flying machine as a counter to the Hippogriff, and a Blood Mage second.
Yeah, great hero choice against the Wardens. If the mana will be great. He's already ahead in so many regards. Here we got a crazy amount of army out, 68 supply, tier 2, everything coming the way of the Night of. Bears are just being started. Tier 3 take just being started. That expansion is not even done yet. And if the Night of player is not like... I'm not sure, like, Colorful needs to achieve something here. His hero is also just level 3. It needs to be level 5 at this point, I feel. Riflemen are joining the fray with a lot of footmen. He needs to deny the healing scrolls, though. If the Warden can reign supreme on these footmen and gather a lot of experience by killing them, he might be able to fight back into that game. But as the Warden is slowly approaching that shop, you're killing it, getting an item, which is the Scroll of the Beast. Yeah, congratulations for that item. Definitely not the best one. Mantle of Intelligence is great together with the 2 circlets, of course, increasing the mana. But he just got 1 scroll. He's not denying the second one. There's no blink, you mentioned it, and now he's being drained.
Yeah, a lot of siphon mana. That is.
Oh, healing wards. That's like the dream.
Yeah, if you have a big breaker wall, it's really nice healing for Yumiko. Second shop creep for the Warden, getting closer and closer to 5. Of course, playing her still solo. It's a big experience boost on tier 3. Scroll of the Beast again. So he's quite unlucky with his item drops here. Big potion of mana or an invo potion would have been the dream, obviously. But he gets the heal scroll for it, so I think it is worth it in the end. 74 food for Yumiko, 49 for Colorful. Of course, he has to start his production for Bears. Master upgrade is coming, expansion is up, but not running yet. So how far along is he? 5,800 here. Wow, it's almost a 4,500 gold advantage for Yumiko at this point.
Oh, dude, there's a lot of trouble coming Colorful's way. Maybe he needs to sacrifice the expansion for once to get that good fight and maybe get that level 6 to turn the game around and then maybe reconstruct the expansion later in the game. But this is a lot of ifs, and yeah, in general, there's already the towers coming that is like super famous for Yumiko. Flame Strike is the second spell. We have Protection Scroll. We have everything in the book and Mana Stone for the Warden. That's of course a great item. We only have 1 mortar team to siege though. Shredder Illusions. Now 4 Shredders on the field. Or actually it's 2 mortar teams right now and a lot of footmen now going for that Tree of Life. That one is dropping super fast. Warden not there yet. It's healing up in the main base, taking its time. Expansion stands for now. Fairy Dragon being morphed. The 2 Gyrocopters attacking that one. And can the Warden really turn the tides here in that game? It will be a really tough one. Look at the illusions, man.
Yeah, the career of Yumiko on the line. The illusions tank a lot of damage. Nicely done by Yumiko. The mortar teams are doing incredible damage. Scroll of healing being used. But now the Warden is level 5. Now the Warden with the Fan of Knives. But heal scroll counters it immediately. Siphon mana, but not for too long. Where will we see the first Flame Strike? We're still waiting for it. Siphon mana again. And the Warden is not doing too much against the Shadow Strike now. But she's completely out of mana. Level 3 for the Blood Mage. Immediately you see the progress of Yumiko's army. And the entire Night Elf army is falling apart. The heal ward is standing there forever and ever and ever and healing everything up. Warden level close to level 6 though, but no mana for the Avatar of Vengeance. Real nice siphon mana by Yumiko again, and everything is falling for Colorful. 2 hunches severely hurt. Oh, nice block with that peasant, so this bear almost going down, but 42 versus 63. The mortar teams are, 1 mortar team at least is still alive. He's cutting the production short by killing this Engine of Law. This bear will not come out. And yeah, this looks amazing for Yumiko. His career still standing strong.
Yeah, probably not coming to an end today, with the Warden coming in with the Avatar of Vengeance and another mana potion on top of that. Not healing up with the 2 Moonlight that are still available in the main base. And yeah, now the Avatar is creating some space. We saw that he lost the Ancient of Lore, that he constructed in a really off position there because he was kind of forced to it. Towers are being attacked by these invincible units that you cannot take down. You cannot dispel them, you cannot attack them. Zeppelin is like full of units that are easily killed by these things. A Fan of Knives on the units. And yeah, the Warden is creating some space with that ultimate. There's plenty of corpse to be used to get more of these little fellas, because you need corpse to get these Avatars of Vengeance. Warden going at the towers, and it seems like, slowly but steadily, he's turning back into that game and probably having a chance of like creating somewhat of a comeback here. The towers are up, but he's slowly sniping a few of them. The Ancient of War should not march into that direction. 600 gold to be spent. He's only on 1 Ancient of Lore production at this point. Maybe Chimera Roost won't be the worst idea to construct right now. How much wood does he have? 500 wood. He's not getting the improved Wellspring upgrade. Also something that I can only recommend for Night Elves. That Ancient of War died. The Avatar of Vengeance still present at the scene. It's now going to kill these towers. The Warden needs the anti-magic so that she cannot be drained by the Blood Mage. And now he's taking a second chance of killing this Tree of Life. And if he kills that one, that will be a huge blow. But so far, it stays alive. The Wisp got annihilated by that Flame Strike level 2. There's still a Protection Scroll as well as the Healing Ward. And fight is about to break out again, I feel.
Yeah, Flame Strike in a perfect position, but it's only level 1, so it doesn't do too much damage just yet. But the progress on the Blood Mage is pretty damn good. Nice block line by the Breakers. They deal, of course, a lot of damage with their feedback damage. Fan of Knives again, but only hitting a lot of the Breakers. Nice save on the Blood Mage. He has to be really careful and needs some healing from the Priests here. Anti-Magic Potion on the Warden being used, and there's still a Mana Potion. Nice Fan of Knives, this time hitting a lot of the casters. Anti-Magic is over, but the potion is still there. The Bears are dropping low, though. The Mod team's once again in a great position. Flame Strike number 2. He hits a lot of his own workers with him, supporting, the Warden, but the Flame Strike is hurting the Bears so bad. The Avatar is still standing strong, but for how long?
The Avatar is surrounded now.
Yeah, and all the spirits will be gone if he kills that Avatar, keeping the surround closed. Well done by Yumiko.
I know Steph Preservation to stab that one out, but it's almost off cooldown again. It's just a tiny little bit that he needs to set that one up. In the meantime, he was not mining from his gold mine since it was being repaired like the expansion. Warden almost level 7 at this point. More Dryads coming to the party. He really lacked of a few Dryads. Flame Strike always a threat to this repairing Wisps, and the casters are rising. We do not see Ferret ranks with that army, and there would be a nice addition, especially against the Priest together with that Wend Fan of Knives coming into play. The Avatar Vengeance is off cooldown now using that one, and he's back into play. There you go, man.
5, 6 bears, but the choke is real for Yumiko, so the mortar teams can do amazing damage. 2 of them here. The Dryads don't really stand a chance, but the Avatar of Vengeance creates more spirits, so healing can be cancelled and damage can be done. Level 7 Warden.
What a crazy game, man.
This is really a crazy game, and what a nice decider of this best of 3. Only one of the players will go to the final versus Romantic or TA to this single elimination. No recovery from a defeat in this one, but Yumiko knows, okay, I have to fight in a choke, I have to wait for the perfect position, but losing this mortar team is real bad. That wasn't too careful here. The spirits really do an amazing job, but the Zeppelin micro, wow, 1 HP on the Priest here, I think.
He could have sniped the Zeppelin a long time ago. I'll lose a Priest right now, not like the end of the world, of course. There are not a lot of more corps that he can use to get like more vengeance, like Spirits of Vengeance out, but he needs to snipe that. He needs to snipe that Zeppelin. He's such a powerful tool, and if there's a guy abusing that to the fullest, it just saves more and more units. He could have killed more units with the Avatar of Vengeance, as you have seen it, guys. You saw that these little spirits, as they are invincible, you can easily go for the snipes. He could have attacked the towers as well, not going for that either. Archmage on the other side is level 4.6. And also the Blood Mage is approaching level 4 already. Double heal scroll, protection scroll, and another healing word that he's not willing to spend yet. The amount of units is rising on the human side. 79 supply against the 66 from the Night Elf. But the Warren alone can turn the tides, as you have seen it already. Avatar of Vengeance standing strong, more and more bears coming to the party. 0-0 upgraded, as well as the Breakers. A lot of water elementals now on the field, which is basically free experience for the Warden. But yeah, can it get any worse? Like level 7 with both of the damage spells maxed, that's a tough call already.
Whoa. Flame Strike again, but he needs more experience. The bears are severely hurt, and you mentioned it, the inventory for Yumiko is amazing with all the heal scrolls. Colorful is craving for some healing like that, but it doesn't really work. Next Flame Strike, and he hits 5 of the bears! Oh boy, this is so bad. Level 4 on the Blood Mage, still the healing scroll in its inventory. Used the first one with the heal ward. Is up for such a long time, providing so much healing. Staff out from the Warden, now level 7. And I think from this point on, she doesn't get that much stronger. Yes, she gets Blink, but only at level 9. I think it's really good. And he loses more bears. And 3 bears down. This is disastrous. Slow on the next bear, and 4 bears down. 83 food versus 50. And this should be it.
But let's talk about it real quick. Like, he's going for the expansion snipe right now with the level 2 Breath of Fire, killing all these wisps. So Expo is gone. Yumiko looking amazing. But why is the Night Elf player even engaging into these towers? Like, they are far away from his expansion. The expansion could not be sieged from that position. Why is he even attacking into that one? Why is he not just standing in front of his Expo, keeping that one alive? There are no more towers coming his way, like closer to that Expo. Why did he feel the need to engage into that awful position?
Yeah, I think now you can see how unexperienced he is in big matches, so he got a little impatient, and that broke his neck.
That was a really, really horrible decision that turned the winner of that game. It was a tight game until then. He could have like really gone for a slow poke kind of strategy. Also, the main gold mines run out for both of the players. Maybe he could have just like sit and babysit his expansion with the units while he's harassing the expansion of the human player with the warden. And whenever there's a fight coming out, the warden can still staff in. That's something that he hadn't had in his book, like his strategy book that he wanted to execute. Avatar of Vengeance is out, but it's basically one gold mine with that fully charged army of 81 supply against the barely 50 supply. Nature's Blessing coming into play slowly. Only one additional floor remaining as a production facility. And yeah, he's like highly doubting that this game is over yet, staying in the game. We see an expansion being created by Yumiko at the natural of the Night Elf.
Yeah, this is so
and
smart.
I still don't get it why he is engaging in that fight there.
Yumiko, of course, nice positioning now. His army is in between the main of the Night Elf and his natural expansion, so the Tree of Eternity can't walk past it and set up a new one. The upper right is not crept, so that's not an option either. And Yumiko always positioning himself in front of a choke where his breakers can block, and he has the critical mass of 4 mortar teams where you basically can't do anything against at the moment if you have no blink, which the Warden doesn't have. But yeah, is he going for the big wood shield here to block things, but against 4 mortars on the other side? How are you supposed to do it? But Yumiko is without income now as well. The natural is down. So in the long run, with a lot of Fan of Knives and Moon Juice, etc., is there some way of coming back for Colorful with the Warden to rule them all?
Now look at this. The moment he moves out to creep the red spot for his tree marching down there is the moment of 4 mortar teams dropping to his main base, killing yet another building. And if he goes down, really down there creeping that, it will be even more hurtful to him. He can never take that fight. What would be a good snipe is like killing that Zeppelin finally, but that's not going to happen. That's some wishful thinking. Wow, and as he's constructing that expansion and as it's done, and he's also dropping down to 80 supply again by killing the unit, he will be harvesting that farm, that scout farm that he created like probably very, very early in the game is now paying off magnificently, because he will scout that movement down there. He will see that the Night Elf player is going down there to creep that tree, and yeah, this leaves him with all the time in the world to get rid of the remaining buildings.
You see it. Exodus from the Wisps. Can he snipe some or force a big detonate or something? Doesn't look like... Oh, nice Flame Strike. Gets him even closer to... Oh, that is level 5 on the Blood Mage. Is it Flame Strike level 3? We're gonna see about that. Creep is going on. Warden finds Helm of Valor. This will not turn the tides here. The expansion is up and it's entangling, but the main gold mine, the main base is completely gone. It is Flame Strike level 3, by the way. Interestingly.
It's like Yumiko played so solid. If he's not like creating a major mistake, I don't see Colorful doing anything. Of course, he can harass the expansion because the worker line, there's basically no tower to protect that, and the Warden with the level 7 is super strong. No blink though. Going to the shop, selling something, is no slowed down, Steph is on cooldown. He doesn't know that for sure, and the mana drain level 2 is like so strong. He could have even gone for Sith mana level 3, but level 2 is already enough, I feel.
Yeah, he has just 2 more buildings to kill, so I think Flame Strike is definitely a very good option. And he has the choke, which he can fight in if he's kind of like in range. Where's the Warden going? That Siphon mana was so big, because otherwise there would have been like 5 Fan of Knives that he could use against the workers. But now with only 250, it's not that much mana anymore. Scouting from the Blood Mage, being cast invisible. Yumiko only waiting for the perfect opening. 2 heal scrolls again, Invo Potion on him as well. And the Blood Mage has another heal scroll and another protection scroll. We saw it from Infi a few days ago, valuing the protection scroll so highly.
Yeah, that was a great game where he used the protection scroll, even double protection scroll, to get like the rights to dispel all the time instead of attacking. That was amazing. Now the Flame Strike level 3 burning all the bears to the ground. Protection scroll being triggered. Warden tries to dive in, is immediately being sucked dry. There's no more mana on that hero. Even if he goes up to level 8, that's not changing the game any longer. GG being called, and Yumiko is the first guy that is moving on to the grand final today.
Doesn't have to end his career right here. He made it, and what a solid performance. I think there was like half a minute or a minute where he was a little shaky when his expansion was up and the transition didn't really work yet. But afterwards, so solid, so strong, no mistakes, always the right decisions. Pretty damn good. And if you would have asked me like 2 weeks ago, like, how would you think Yumiko would do in this qualifier? I would have said that he's dropping out in the group stage. But this is not the Yumiko we saw 2 weeks ago. This is the Yumiko we saw at WCA 2014, at NISO. This is pretty impressive.
Yeah, even WCA 2016, he was in a really good shape, I feel like, checking out 1-2-0 back then in a super convincing fashion. I remember that game, watching it from behind his shoulders. Like, that was amazing to see. Then he had like a little bit of bad luck, like losing against me and then going to face against Loliot. Like, playing against Loliot is like at this point where he was like at his prime against Human, where nobody had a counter to that. There was just like no chance you get out of that best of 3 against him. And yeah, I think he was in a good shape even back then, but yeah, of course, dropping out in the tournament hurts him a lot. Crying on that table, that's like a picture that's not getting out of my head if I see his name somewhere.
Yeah, I have the same feeling just for WCA 2014 when he lost the grand final to Infi. It was basically the same situation, and we met at the dinner later on, and he was still so devastated, like 2, 3, 4 hours later. Very emotional, but maybe this time his emotions and his desire to win something big can drive him forward instead of hindering him. But yeah, that was a pretty cool series, and big shout out to Colorful